Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 545. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Ahoy.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo!
Welcome, listeners and viewers, to the Gamecast Series X version. No, just kidding. That's right, guys. I've decided to keep the system. So I did do an unboxing.
You previewed it last week, you teased it, and now it's here to stay.
Well, what happened was I sold something that I didn't expect to sell and made a few extra $100. And I was like, at this point I have the system. It cost me $173. So I was like, I should just get this thing. And then I still have the old Xbox One X I can trade in when GameStop runs another promotion to put that towards PS5 or the Switch Pro whenever that comes out. And, or both, because I'm going to get both at some point. We know that. So the only thing that was hesitant for me on keeping the system was I do understand. I completely understand PC gaming, and I understand the purpose of it, like how it's like you could just do this and get the computer. But I think what was more frustrating for me on the PC gaming side of things was that I couldn't build the computer myself, and I'd have to buy something from Dell or HP or Asus or whatever. You pay a premium for that, and I just, because of the video card fiascos right now. And so I do think I still am going to get something gaming-wise for PC. Like I was talking about in Discord, I have options with my current company where they can actually get me a computer that I can use for that as well. So I could see myself still doing some PC gaming with a really good video card. This was a great option, and so I decided to keep it here, and Guys, it's a mini tower. Like, Jesus, it's a freaking mini tower. I sent you the picture on Discord. It is
monolith.
Yeah, I filmed it with my iPhone because I bought a new webcam to put it on YouTube and make it look nice, and it looked terrible. So I just decided to use my iPhone while I held it in my hand, unfortunately, guys, and took it apart one-handed and showed you the system, and I'm going to process that and upload it. You'll be up there on our YouTube channel soon. You can see the unboxing and how big the system is. But yeah, I gotta say, like, it is like a PC. Like, it is like when you upgrade a component in your computer. Like, I couldn't tell you if I just turned on the system, right, and I showed it to my fiance, just showed her, she thinks it's the regular Xbox. That I haven't changed a thing, except for the giant monolith thing on the stand, because it looks the same. It moves quicker. I can see it, but most people can't see it. But it's same interface, and the controller is extremely close. You'd have to be a gamer to know the differences. There's a lot more what do you call those things, like grippy stuff all over the place, like on the triggers. There's nice little
that's the technical term. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think of what textured grips all over the place. So even the back of it's very comfy to hold because the back of it's textured. And then the triggers in the back are more textured grips. It's really, really nice. Little changes. The thumbsticks are definitely better. They're more, when you click them in, you can really feel that click in better, like more responsive. And the force feedback, the rumble feature, is a little bit more fine-tuned. I see it more like the Switch. So you know how it does that little balancing, like what we were supposed to have with the Xbox One X, but we didn't actually ever get. But we saw with the Switch where it would change the sections that it would shake. It does this on this controller. So, but yeah, so I ended up keeping it, and I loaded Outriders and played that, obviously.
Oh, nice.
The problem was I decided yesterday to do this, so I don't have much information for you guys yet, except for another hour of Outriders to tell you guys about. And I will say that it cut the load times to 8 seconds to get into the game. You know that, when you load that screen, 8 seconds when it does that percentage thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not even kidding you. It's 8 seconds, and you're moving. Like, it's in there, it's done. Like, yeah.
Surprised. I kind of thought that was all like, or most of it was like network shit.
No, once you're in that game, I don't have a fast network connection here, which is why it took me all night yesterday. I set up the system. I downloaded MLB The Show, Outriders, 20 Streets of Rage 4. Yes, it's going to get played. That's happening very soon. I can see myself playing that this weekend. I don't know why, but I'm ready for that game now.
There's some DLC for that came out recently, I think, or is coming soon.
I don't know why. I saw it in the Game Pass, and I'm like, that's it. I'm ready. I'm ready for this game. Let's do this. So I downloaded that, and but I wanted to check out Outriders because I had played it, and I'm like, okay, I can give people a comparison. And so graphically, it's close. Like it does look much more fine-tuned detail. Like I can see that stuff. I don't know if a lot of people can actually notice it too much, but it is a lot better resolution, consistent. Obviously 4K resolution. It's 4K resolution. It is HDR. It looks beautiful. It's fluid. 60 frames per second, no problem. And like I said, the load times are great. Is it night and day? No, not at all. Except for that load time. That is night and day. But we expected that this generation. I mean, we expect these two consoles to fly with loading screens. In fact, I thought it would be a little quicker. But it might just be this game. Like you guys said, it could be held up from the server too. In my speed of my connection, I only have 25 megs. So, I'm not dealing with a lot of speed here. So I loaded in 8 seconds with that. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, I like I said, I love the Xbox One X, in my opinion, is a perfectly designed console. Like, I think the size of that is great. It's whisper quiet. This is pretty quiet too. But this hardware is what is really nice. It's really nice. It's super quick. You can just tell how much faster this is. Even just in the menus, when you press the home button, it's like it's there. Like it's boom, it's popped up. Like it's
it's not a piece of shit like on the One X.
Yes, no, it's not.
I hate the Xbox
it's ready to roll.
on One X. I hate it so
Dude,
bad.
man, let's go back to the 360 and those sliding blade things.
The blades.
They're so nice. The blades were the best. They should bring back the blades.
Dude,
I think. No,
I mean, just like the sluggishness though. It's still like super. It's super slow. It's not as fast as you think. Like you remember.
I know, but it was fast for that system. The blades.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But they did get better. But the operating system has been a little tough with the Xbox One. Like that was they just threw too much in there.
Bullshit. It's like, go to this screen. We're gonna load up 3 different advertisements or videos. It's like, what the fuck?
Do you guys remember they broke Party Chat? Remember that? Like back in the Xbox One?
Yeah.
That
was unbelievable. Do they still have it?
Yeah, it's easy to join in and out now. It's so much easier.
Oh, I don't know.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it's quite nice. It is bulky. It doesn't look right on its side. I don't think. I think it really is meant to be stood up. But I only have the setup for the side. So the vent is at the top of the system. So you don't have to worry about. That's it. There's just the top of it. It's just the vent. So, and it doesn't blow much air. Like I had my hand next to that to feel the air coming out. It's very light, and it doesn't
vape into it and see the smoke come out. Like
it doesn't sound like a jet engine. And in fact, I've heard PS5s can really wind up sometimes. So it's pretty whisper quiet. It's not as quiet as the Xbox One X though. That, like I said, that system is like they nailed that design in that. I just wish they could have fit this in there. But obviously, the graphics card in this is what's dictating the size, I think. So.
Oh yeah, I mean my graphics card is fucking ginormous. Holy shit!
Yeah. So, I'm impressed with it. I want to upgrade.
It's like a Ghostbusters trap. Now that I think about it, like the trap.
Yeah,
that's it. That's my video.
Yeah.
So now you're hoping for that Xbox Starfield exclusivity, right?
I mean, whatever.
Now you're hoping for other people to suffer, Jim.
You need some Xbox exclusivity for like
I'm gonna
get some bleeding edge stuff on there.
I would say this: like, why is it I can go to the Xbox Game Pass store or any Xbox store and I can't find enhanced Series X games? Why can't I just filter by that?
You can't.
No, you can't filter. You can't filter. Like I'm like, where is the filter for this? It should be right here. Like
tweet Major Nelson, be like, where is this feature?
Yeah, I should, because I thought about that when I was doing it yesterday. I was like, okay, what am I downloading on this? My first playbacks. Jedi Fallen Order is going to be something I can't wait to actually check out after it.
Mass Effect on Friday?
Oh, yeah, definitely that. But this is the problem with Mass Effect. I have now found out my TV is not ready for this. It's not able to run 120 frames per second. So, yeah, it's not able to do 120 hertz. Jim. It is able to do 120 hertz, but it's not compatible with the Xbox to do it. It's a 120 hertz panel, but you need 2.1 HDMI. I have 2.0 in this TV from 2017, so I can't run 4K 120 frames per second on my Mass Effect game. So, yeah.
Time to which get is that 70 inch.
I'm pricing it, so I need a. Can I hit some stocks, please? Can I get some stocks to go up, please? I will grab it then. Doge, Doge failed me. Elon I'm looking
you
for
an SNL.
Elon failed. Yes, Elon failed me. That was my I'm going to gamble with this. If I hit it, I'm getting the freaking TV because I want that 77 OLED. But I want 120 percent. I want to see what that's like. I can't wait to talk about that. I will get that for myself, but also I'll talk about it on the podcast. So I'll let you guys know. And at that point, we're vaccinated. I'll have to have you guys over. We'll have to do our 550, 600 episode, whatever it's going to be at that point. That's a long ways away, 600, 550-ish, but whatever. That's my 5 away. But we'll have to figure out, have you guys over. And you guys see the house anyway, some of you guys. So have you guys over. We'll play like 120 frames per second. Nothing, because nothing's out yet that supports it, but we'll get it. There's nothing. Like, I went to the game store. There's just nothing.
I know.
Whatever.
I mean,
human
gotta
beings
have
even
more
notice
control
that?
too.
Are we getting to the point where you can't perceive it at that point?
I can't tell you that, Mike, because I've never seen 120 frames per second. I know what 60 frames did to 30, but I don't know if it's the same. I don't know.
No. Every time you jump, so going from 30 to 60 is significant. Going to 60 to 120 is still good, but it's not night and day. I would say it's not nice.
It's the whole HD, standard HD is like ridiculously drastic, but then you go to HD to 4K. It's like, all right, that's cool, but
you can
cool.
see it, but it's like it's not crazy cool. You know what I mean? It's not crazy. So all right, that's it for me. Enough for me. Tony, what have you been playing?
Just more 14 and new Pokemon Snap. Nothing new, just those 2 titles. I think what's next for me, as I'm finishing that, is going to be those 2 Famicom games that they're porting to Switch with the mystery detective series or something like that, which is
definitely
stuff like that. So I'll check that out. This comes out this Friday, so I'll be able to play that a bit and report back on it.
Cool. Mike?
I've been playing more Outriders.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that as well.
No, it's cool.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
You gave me the code. I got to install it.
Somebody give you a code.
This weekend I was so busy. Yeah. No, I'll install it for this weekend.
Cool.
Yeah. I played, I think at least once with Corey and a few more times with my other friends who were behind me, and Corey's a bit ahead. And I found that this game is kind of it's fun to play with people who are weaker than you at first, just because the game is pretty hard and you want to feel powerful again. So you do, but you don't really get much accomplished. So the game kind of only scratches that loot itch if you're playing with people equally or stronger than you, like your friends, because everything I was gaining playing with guys who were finishing up the campaign, they're in the later part of the campaign, and I'm like, oh, this is all garbage, I'm just gonna have to scrap with all of this, but I'll get it again, I guess, help you guys get further along. But
with Outriders, I've gotten to challenge 11, I think now.
You're on 11 in the expedition tier.
Yeah.
I get such Diablo vibes from that, Corey. It's such Diablo vibes.
I'm at 8 still. I can't really
It's really hard. It is that's thing.
I can't
solo
really
is almost impossible.
No, I go down a tier or so.
And that's the problem, is then you don't get the gear. So with how this game works is you level to 30, and then the challenge tiers and the world tiers boost your gear up beyond 30. So the max level gear is 50, and you that's the thing you were saying. I can totally see if you're playing at your level or below, you're not getting that higher tier to push you forward to help you get to that, the rifts or whatever, right, Jim? So you're not pushing up those challenge tiers. And the thing is, though, once you hit 44, though, it costs pod points to upgrade your weapons. So you really do want to make sure you're getting those drops. And then as you get even higher, the cost to go up higher is just astronomical. It's the pod points and then the titanium you need. It's ridiculous. So you just got to keep farming and farming.
No, the whole game is just get titanium right now for me.
I usually just sell my guns for scrap and then buy titanium with the scrap.
Yeah.
But the loop is fun. It's interesting how, because video games just doing the same thing over and over again, it's not necessarily a bad thing for some games. Where I find I play a lot of board games, and if you're doing the same thing in a board game over and over again, that just gets tiresome. It's we need to get some variety, a little bit more. Need to change it up a little bit. But with a video game, I'm fine. I'm just gonna kill this thing, reset, kill this thing, reset, kill this, do it over and over again. Yeah, so it's interesting that dynamic there with the differences. But that's all I've been doing too, is just more Outriders. And I played with Mike. I played with cousin Mike as well, and he actually helped me get a little bit higher on the tiers. He's at 15.
He's playing on the Series X, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on Series X. Yep.
The game does run nicer, without a doubt.
No,
I don't know if it's from the last patch. I don't know if maybe the last
so.
patch did that, but yeah. So.
Well, yeah, no, it's interesting too, because I did play with Nick as well.
Yeah, on PC, right?
So that worked well. So PlayStation, PS4, it's an interesting time we're living in here with
it's an actual.
What a world! What a world!
Crossplay is cool, and also since I at one point I'm like because I did all the side missions.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can replay them, but I didn't feel like doing that again. I like to sort of have a counterpoint to what you said. I'm like, I don't want to do these side missions again. So I kind of just stopped because I didn't have anyone else to play with. So I moved on. I'll go back to it obviously. That's kind of going to be like a multiplayer game for me going forward. So now I started up Yakuza 6, my last.
The last one.
The last action one, really. So we'll see how that goes and how it closes that out. Then I'll see if I want to dive into Like a Dragon or not. But
interesting you should bring that up. Yeah. Just to segue into this, I got some bad news for you, Mike. It sounds to me like Yakuza games going forward is going to be like a Dragon style, turn-based.
Yes, I know.
At least.
I've read this, which is funny. But in conjunction with that, if we're gonna want to sneak into the news a little bit here, they also announced a sequel to the spinoff, which I've played. I think I was playing around December last year, and it was a 2-year-old game at that point. Anyway, but Judgment has a sequel coming out, which is called, what was it called? Something like No Judgment or something. I don't remember what the name is of the
Lost
sequel.
Judgment or
Lost? Yeah, I think it's
Lost Judgment. Yeah, Lost Judgment. That's what it is. I just looked up. Yeah, Lost Judgment.
So what's interesting about this is, this franchise, this, first of all, it's a surprise that we're getting a sequel to the spinoff a little bit, although I remember thinking, because this was the newest game I had played at that point in this franchise, I'm like, I would play a sequel of this, I thought, but then you don't have too many sequels to the spinoffs in the Yakuza series, but the Judgment franchise now apparently is going to continue the action while the main line is going to be turn-based, which is funny to me because you play a lawyer turned private detective in the Judgment series. It makes no sense that you're like the greatest fighter in the world at all. And this, it barely made any sense in Yakuza, but at least you knew you start as a fighter, and always were a fighter. And this guy, it makes no sense that you could kick everyone's ass, but whatever. So I think it's funny, almost a little backwards even, that the mainline Yakuza is going to be all turn-based, and Judgment is going to be all action-based while you're being a private detective and a lawyer.
It's also funny that these RPGs, these classic RPG, turn-based RPGs, are becoming more action-based, while this action game is becoming more turn-based.
I never really understood turn-based. Maybe Like a Dragon will sell me on it and I'll be into it, but it's because
this is the hope that we needed to get Mike to play JRPGs.
It's just I don't know.
Gateway drug for him.
Video games exist because they're not board games. I feel like, so I want to do the thing. I don't want to use my imagination. I want to just have control it and do it. I don't know.
You're not looking at it the same way though. It's you're using your brain it's a tactical style. It's like a strategy. You have to use certain moves, potions, certain times. It's all about timing. You know, it's a different style of play. It's not about like a board game. It's like that's the idea of turn-based combat. It's like, okay, well, I know I'm going here, but if he goes after this, do I have enough health to make it through if I don't heal? You know, that's one of the strategies there. You know, it's like, can I afford to go all out? Can I just like use these special abilities, or do I have to conserve until like the next fight? You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
strategizing.
I guess I get it, but I don't know. It just seems like creating a barrier that doesn't need to exist.
No, honestly, I think you're gonna really love that game anyways. It is so much Yakuza. Like, it is just the combat. I mean, just the turn-based combat. But even in the combat, it's still Yakuza. So
we'll see. But I am excited that Judgment is coming out. Apparently, it's coming out this year too, which is a little bit of a surprise. Although the way these games are designed, you can churn out sequels pretty quick since they all pretty much take place in the same like one or two maps, which they've been just sort of building or tweaking on in for like, you know, over a decade now. Like there's been they changed the engine once recently. Well, no, more than once, but like I think it's called the Dragon Engine like 2 or something. The like Kiwami 2, Judgment, and 6 are all in that. And then so like after like 2015 on, like that's the engine they've been using, and so I can see it that they can get this out kind of quick. But yeah, this is something I'm looking forward to now. I am surprised also because apparently the lead in Judgment, the voice and facial, I don't know about mocap, actor is like a former like pop star over there. I don't know his name, but he's apparently like pretty famous. So there was some question because they announced that they would do a remastered version of the first game on PS5 recently as well. People were like, oh, why don't we get it? I wish we were getting a sequel instead, not just a remaster. So it was funny that then shortly afterwards they announced this, but people were worried that, oh, they can't get this guy back again for a sequel. Well, I guess they can. So
money talks.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's also it's different though. So I hope now this means Sega realizes that Yakuza could be one of their tentpole series now going forward, and they're gonna like.
Oh, it has been.
I know,
for the past couple of years, but
now
it's
been more prominent than Sonic. So
but these have all been in the pipeline for a couple of years now, because again, development takes that long. But then what's his name just got the boot. You know, we talked about that. He got demoted.
Someone I saw an article framing it as like he's taking a more active role as opposed to an overseer role.
It's like if Miyamoto was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to like, you know, being a lead programmer or something." It's like, no, you never do that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get more into the news.
Jason Schreier's book got delayed a week, by the way. I was excited for it today.
Oh,
it was supposed to come out today.
He's going to report on his own crunch.
Wow.
No.
All right, that's cool. I mean, I'm psyched for next week then for it. So
18th comes out.
Yeah, cool.
Well, we'll see. It's supposed to come out today. So.
Thanks to the Epic trial, we have more news here. Obviously, we knew this anyways. Before I say this, Xbox has never turned a profit. The system itself.
That's no surprise. I mean, it's a whole razor blade, business model. You sell the razors at a loss, you make it up with the blades.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
With
software.
I mean, like Teslas, they don't make anything on them Teslas really, but they started to now. But yeah, like you gotta get people. So you gotta get the hardware out, and then it's all in the software.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Sony has warned now PS5 supply could be scarce until 2022, which
no surprise.
Shortages, COVID, so much stuff here. Suez, I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently they're trying to make that bigger. Trying to expand it.
I just don't see how Nintendo launches a system this year. How do you do that with the chip shortage?
Well, hopefully they made deals before.
It's interesting you say that because Nintendo had their fiscal meeting last week.
Yeah, let's move into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, just go over the numbers there. So this is from Daniel Ahmad, aka the Zooge X on Twitter. And he said that it's a record year for Nintendo. The company reported revenue of $16.59 billion, up 34.4% year over year, highest since fiscal year 08-09. Operating profit $6 billion, up 81% year over year, the highest operating profit the company has ever recorded. And he posted a graph of pretty much from 1999 till today, and it's just like literally it just looks like a bridge, or it's just like that, stuff like that. And then just highlighted some numbers along with that. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now at 35 million copies sold worldwide, which is just absurd.
Yeah.
Even just in the last quarter, it sold 2 million. It sold the most out of all their Switch catalog games. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold the most in the last 3 months, which is just ridiculous.
Wow.
Animal Crossing New Horizons, after 1 full year, is at 32.6 million, which is, again, just
the right time
that it caught Mario Kart 8 just on the nip of its heels right there.
Yep.
Followed by Smash Ultimate at 23.8, Breath of the Wild at 22.2, Pokemon Sword and Shield at 21, Mario Odyssey at 20.8, and then yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
But, so then they talked about the next year. So they are projecting, I think, just shy of 30 million for this fiscal year for Switches sold, which is absurd because, again, this is going to be technically its 5th fiscal year on the market, which is just unheard of at this point. And just, again, highlighting that typical generation life cycles they might as well be done now. Like, there's kind of no point in doing them.
Yeah.
Or classifying as we used to and stuff like that. But then they did talk about how while they did secure enough circuits and all the electronics for the first half of the year, they did warn that supply in the second half, they may encounter some problems, and they're trying to work around that now. So we'll see how that goes. But they're projecting next fiscal year, only 25 million Switch units sold, which would still put it at a ridiculous territory. And then they did mention, what was it? Highest R&D spending ever for Nintendo. They had to, post and stuff like that. So that may finally be the true Switch 2 successor at that point, because they reiterated again in their investor call that we're only halfway through the Switch life cycle. So.
Okay.
Interesting news. We'll see.
Interesting news, yeah. Let's move back here a little bit, talk about the Epic Apple trial, where they released...
More news. More new news.
Where they released the individual tactics article, post of what they were trying to buy, right, for exclusives on the Epic Store.
Yep.
So what we had, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. They approached, I guess... They had them written out for strategies approaching each of them for exclusive titles. Am I reading that right? Is that what this is, right? Okay. So Sony's first-party titles offer extended at $200 million for 4 to 6 titles awaiting feedback. Microsoft first-party titles, opening conversations, internal feedback from Microsoft. Their PC Game Pass leader is against what we're doing. They're effectively bidding against us for content. Tilly's meeting with Gabe at Valve occasionally. Interesting. By itself. Nintendo, not started, is a moonshot unto itself. Corporate history says this is a not starter. So I thought that was funny, especially with Nintendo the way they are now. They don't have to talk to anybody. Just reinforcing those numbers we just saw. But the big thing for me is I think they're going to get Sony to do this.
I could see it because the door is already creaked open with the walking simulator. What was it? A Kojima game.
Norman.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. So, because I'm pretty sure that launched on Epic, right?
Did it?
Did it?
I thought it was on Steam.
Well, I think it might be on Steam now, but.
Oh, I thought it. Oh, maybe that was the exclusive game. That may have been it. You're right. Yeah. I don't know, but $200 million.
It came to, I guess it was a simultaneous launch. So
okay,
still one for Epic. So
I just feel like that makes the most sense because, again, Microsoft is against them with Game Pass subscriptions kind of stuff. You want them in, they want them, other people in their ecosystem rather than Epic. And And so I feel like that Sony makes sense. Like partnership into PC, that's it right there. I mean, they want to get into PC more. They mentioned that.
Yep.
I think that's going to happen. Nintendo's Nintendo. You won't see that on PC ever. And the other bit of news was Phil meeting with Gabe at Valve. What's going on? What's happening there? Like, what strategizing?
Well, I mean, you know,
it's not. Do you think it's Steam? I mean, is it Steam or is it a game?
Well, I think there are Microsoft games available on Steam. We talked about like Microsoft's Flight Simulator. I think Halo, Master Chief Collection, Sea of Thieves have all done well. But I'm sure it's right. I'm sure integration is always a thing. But what's his name? Gaben has always had kind of like an anti-walled garden stance that Microsoft has taken with a traditional Microsoft approach. But now that Phil is in a better position of power, in the last few years compared to previously, there could be some negotiation. And I really think, Phil's goal here is to bring Game Pass to Steam, right? Because right now you have to go through the fucking Microsoft Windows Store, and it sucks.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, they don't have a good interface on the PC. That's for certain. So Steam would give them that access. You're right.
Right, and then here's the joke that Valve has no games. But I mean, what if it's like, hey, we'll do it, and we can put the Valve games in for free, or whatever, and make it enticing and profitable for both parties.
That reminds me, out of nowhere, for those wondering, I'm gonna make a E3 prediction. I want to do an off the chart E3 prediction right here.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Microsoft will announce an exclusive Metal Gear Solid game published by them.
Interesting.
Who makes it?
I honestly think that seriously, like, I know Kojima is done with that game, but I don't think he's done with that game. I just feel like I know they're working. They're working with Kojima on something. They definitely are. There's too many weird things. There was like the whole thing about Phil having the Death Stranding character behind him in the background where he like leaves hints. And then there's Konami, who's like shopping their properties out anyways, and Microsoft with boatloads of cash and needing something like this. I just see this lining up like this, in my opinion. I thought about this last weekend. Wanted to mention it last week on the podcast, but I will go on the record saying Moonshot prediction, E3, Microsoft, Metal Gear Solid.
You could say now.
It may not be Kojima.
Let's do what I've been asking to do for now that E3 is back this year officially. Let's do an E3 predictions podcast again.
Okay.
We got to, seriously.
Let's pencil this in. We haven't done I almost would do a bonus round for this because it's been we haven't done much gaming bonus rounds. So let's I would love to do an E3 prediction podcast. So maybe next week, you guys want to get some stuff together? Okay. Let's do it.
When is E3 happening?
June. Yeah, June 2nd week.
So it's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's been like a few weeks.
Yeah, so we can do it next week. Look for that, guys. I think we're gonna do it. I'm psyched for it. We haven't done it in a while, so let's do that. Let's see. PS5 PSVR reportedly features 4K eye tracking. Did you see the specs on this thing? Like, I can't believe this is real. I don't make any sense to me. I mean, they're tracking this resolution for PS5 right now to be higher than 4K, like just a bit higher. So I can't see how the cost-wise you can do that. I just don't know. You can't release this product over $300, right?
Pre-COVID, maybe, but I mean,
you think you can launch an accessory over the console price? $600?
Well, I thought you said
$300.
I know, but I'm saying, like, there's no way. You think this could be $400? Like that technology? Like,
it could be $500. I mean, you could have it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
price as a system.
Sure, okay, that I could give you, but I just like, isn't Oculus like $300, $400?
I don't know. Fuck VR, dude. I hate VR. I have no interest in VR. Like, absolutely none at all.
I don't disagree in terms of like the interfaces and stuff. I just think it's a cool concept. Like, I know the Oculus has its own side things.
Rich people.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some interesting experiences in VR for sure. I don't think right, exactly. I just don't think that it's there yet, and so. But I mean, the technology's not there yet.
I think you're also half of it. Like, it's just half-assed still. Like, it's always going to be half-assed until like you can do like a full body like motion thing where like you can walk correctly yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure in 10, 20, 30 years, we're going to have full bodysuit, like motion cap, like...
Oh, man, we're just going to be in a pod, and it's all in our head.
I mean, even if, like...
Ready to play one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, because, like, when you're in there, you're like, oh, this is cool. I would feel like I was really here if I could, like, move, like, real life in any way. But I don't, so I can't. So I feel half... And it just is disorienting. Well,
it's disorienting because it's not what you've been doing for the past 30 some odd years.
Yeah. I think that there are some great experiences with VR. It just from personal experiences now, AR is awesome in terms of interaction and learning. But I don't know gaming wise if that makes sense. But of course, but you remember, like PCs were not launched to like do gaming at all. And then
what happened to that Microsoft table where we're watching a football game on it?
The HoloLens. The HoloLens. I remember calling bullshit on that. And you're like, no, Tony, no. It's going to be awesome.
Google Glasses, man. Google Glasses.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I used their Xbox 360 Connect to build an AR interface table. And the technology,
the thing is, they're neat. It's all neat. Like, you go to, like, remember when you used to go to the mall and there's those, like, cameras that you had the little balls that you could kick around and stuff. Like, that's all neat. That's it.
Yeah, sure. I mean... It might just, yes. I'm just trying to play like the opposite side here. Like, I'm just, I don't think.
I want it. I mean, one of my things is like I was saying, like VR is going to blow up. This is going to be the thing for the future. It's just it's not there. The technology is not there yet.
You can draw that. Here's the original video. The original video games were built on PC, where like it was for work, computations and stuff like that. And then somebody did Pong. And so, like, that was a very basic game. And, like, is that a game? Like, I don't know, but nowadays, but it has to start somewhere. And so, like, this original idea is great for learning, but can you adapt it to gaming?
Well, it's it. Somebody needs to just find a way to not make it an experience. They need to have a game that's going to be feel.
Isn't Half-Life like that?
Maybe. I haven't played it. I don't know. I'm just saying that's where we need more games that are actual games and not these experiences.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because a little bit of
the only thing that came close.
Yeah, Half-Life is probably the biggest thing. I was going to segue into an earlier bit that we skipped over just because we jump around.
I was talking about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's a good time because talking about making games, Nintendo is actually going to allow you to answer once and for all those internet trolls and warriors where it's like, we could make a better Zelda, Mario, Metroid, fill in the blank with the Game Builder Garage, which seems like this like programming DIY game maker, which exists on Steam and stuff like that. But it's interesting that Nintendo is going down that line, and I think it's maybe an evolution.
It's like the evolution. Oh, I was gonna...
the evolution. Yeah.
Mario Maker, yeah.
Yep. Yep. And I remember originally, like, I sang praises for that game because it was really cool and innovative, and just the content that people make is just insane. With that game, so I'm excited to see what people come up with this. I'll probably get it just to like try out other things. I'm one of those types where it's like, I don't know, like I'll make a few levels just to be like, oh, that's neat and that's cool, but like I'm not into like, oh, I need to perfectly craft my Little Big Planet level so it's like Metal Gear Solid with the lights, and the alarm blaring and all that stuff. Yeah. Which I totally love. I love that people can do that, but I can't do that kind of dedication.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at what people did with Dreams. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they did do crazy stuff with that. Yeah. So, all right, Lucasfilm classic games. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I saw this trending on Twitter today, and I'm like, what the hell is this trending on Twitter for? And Ghoul Patrol coming to eShop on June 29th. That's why. So, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Great game. Classic game.
Maybe I'll finally beat this game now. I've never beaten this game. I've never beat this game.
Patrol, but I've never beat that game.
That was the sequel. Nobody really cared for it. I don't know why you would go from such a cool name like Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Like, it's just a ridiculous sounding title. Like, why would you go away from that to just like this generic Ghoul Patrol? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
it's not even like the Zombies Ate My Neighbors 2 Ghoul Patrol. It's just Ghoul Patrol.
Just Ghoul Patrol. It's like, okay, cool. It's like if you went from like Star Wars to like Alien Patrol or something stupid. Like what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, so.
And I'm excited. I mean, that's just a classic title that I think needs to be available on modern platforms.
Yeah. Last in the news, we have Bioshock Infinite news about the troubled development for that series. What happened with this?
Still waiting.
What was that?
No, I'm still waiting for that Bioshock Vita version.
Oh, yeah, Bioshock.
Yeah.
Keep holding your breath, Corey.
We're still waiting for whatever Ken Levine is doing, right? Since then, it's been almost 10 years now.
See what's crazy about this game, Bioshock Infinite, is I actually kind of like this game, but I never really played the other Bioshock games, so I'm sure I'm pissing people off by saying that right now. But
I think the consensus amongst Bioshock fans is it's fine, but it's not the first one or even the second one, which was done by a different developer, but is pretty good in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just an excerpt from Jason Schreier's book coming out, which Corey had mentioned earlier. Yep. So it details the history of it and some of the woes with the publisher, but then also the development side. And the excerpt to me was, let's see here. In March 2012, Irrational brought in Don Roy, a veteran video game producer who had some experience closing out big games at publishers like Sony and Microsoft. He was shocked just to see how bad things were. Quote, "I get there, and there's essentially no game," Roy said. A tremendous amount of work had been done. It just hadn't been stood up as a game in any particular form, to the point where the first thing I did was go, "Can I play a build of the game?" And the answer was no. They said, "You could play these pieces of things, but there's not an actual functioning game."
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That was 2012, and when did the game come out?
13, right?
Wow.
Wow. So I just I don't know. I can't wait to read this book. I'm psyched to read this whole. Yeah. So.
What's funny though with that game as well, when you think about like the idea that like it was a mess, there was all these like, they tried to do a bunch of stuff. In the end of the game, didn't really change too much with the formula, like gameplay wise. There was like those zipline hooks, but that was about it.
No, by the way, it's the Audible version that got delayed, not the.
The book is out then.
I think the physical version's out. But Audible is the one that makes sense for me. Just
I want to listen to Noctis voice again.
Actually, who is? Let me see. I can look that up right now.
I
would hope it'd be the same.
It is. Like 99.9% sure it's him because he made a tweet about it. He said, Prince Noctis is narrating my second book.
Oh, that's cool. So now I'm psyched to read this book or listen to it either way. I'll probably listen to it.
Ray Chase, there we go.
Yeah. So interesting. So cool. That's it for the news. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, the like button, leave a comment. We're also on Podbean. If you ever go to Podbean, you can get our podcast right from there. iTunes, write us allyoungeek@gmail.com, and leave a comment and we'll respond. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.